fella, he does real math. Gives you guides, puts you on the path. With today's lesson, he is in his zone. So come on now, let's get going.
Howdy, Math Fella here with a tutorial on factoring quadratic equations. Give you a phrase to help you remember the steps of Math Fella says go fish, to help you remember to multiply, factor, substitute, group, and factor again. So let's just jump right into one. Equation here, we're going to look at multiplying the number in front of x squared, which is this 8, by the number with no x, which is a negative 28. So multiply these two terms to give me a negative 224. So that's the multiply. Now we're going to look at factors of the negative 224. So one factor will be negative, one is going to be positive. I want to be able to add those factors to equal the number in front of x, which is 2. So if I look through my factor groupings, looks like I'm getting down to this one with a positive 16, negative 14. So let's take that back and substitute. Multiply factor. Now I'm substituting for this 2x, a 16x, and a negative 14x. Again, order of those does not matter. You'll get the same solution whichever path you take. So now I've substituted. Now I'm going to group some terms. I'm going to group these first two, and we're going to group these last two in this form. See, I've used parentheses here, and now I want to factor in each of those particular groups. So I looked at this first term. I see there's an 8x in both of those. Look in the second term, and I see that there is a negative 14 in both of those. Once I factor that term out, each is left with an x plus 2. So this is a key item I'm looking for to confirm that I can factor these equations with real numbers. So my next step is to gather those groupings here, the x plus 2, pull that from each of these, and that leaves me the 8x minus 14. So these are two factors of my equation. Just want to make sure I can check that in the quadratic world. Go back and multiply these two terms to get this layout. Now I want to combine those two middle terms, and that gives me the initial equation I started with. So those are truly factors of that equation. So again, you've kind of seen how this methodology worked. I want to give you an equation to go practice on. Take this one, run back through these steps. Math Fellow says go fish. Or if you just remember the MFSGF, walk back through those steps to factor this equation. Once you have completed that, roll on to the next slide and check against the key. Okay, let's go see what that looks like. So the equation you started with, substitution would have been a 10x and a negative 9x. Again, the order doesn't matter. You'll end up with the same thing. In this case, we factored out a 3x from this term. Factored out a 5 from these two. Left me with a 2x minus 3 in each one of these, and then the 3x plus 5. So hopefully that was a good practice for you. And remember, Math Fella does real math.